Hey guys, so in this video we're going to create ability trainers that can teach us some new abilities instead of doing it inside the player blueprint manually. And then we also want to add some gold cost and level requirements so it's not completely free. First thing we want to do is let's go to structs and DTs and here open the abilities struct. And we want to add a couple of new variables, which will be, first one will be level requirement. So what level we need to learn this ability. So level requirements, I always spell this wrong, so requirements, yeah, that should be correct. And this will be integer. And then one more, which will be gold cost. So how much gold it will cost to learn this ability. And that will also be integer. Save it. And now we need to create some widgets. So one widget will be to actually display the trainer window. And then we also want to create the abilities itself that we can learn. So that will be two new widgets. So it will be widget heavy video again, but obviously we want to style it and we want to display it. So we need to do it. So let's go to widgets. And for the ability trainer, we can just right click, go to user interface and create widget blueprint. This one will be user widget and I'll name it ability trainer underscore widget. Open it up. Here I'm going to use overlay this time, not canvas panel. If you prefer canvas panel, go ahead. It's way easier to actually position things inside, but apparently overlay is a little bit more performance. So I'm going to use overlay this time. And then we want to have some background. So I do have background in different widgets that I created either in the tutorial or on the Patreon. I styled it different. So I'm just going to copy these two backgrounds I made here and add them to here to this overlay. And I think I need to flip them around. So just add some custom backgrounds to it as an image. And then we also want to add some text. I do have this text that will display what this widget actually is. So I'm going to again copy this text and add it to overlay, or just add new text, and then we're going to position it to the middle. And I think I have it offset here by 30, so I'm going to do the same thing here. So padding on top will be 30. Okay, so just add some text, and this one can say ability trainer, or you can name it as a specific trainer that you want to have. This one will be spell trainer, one will be, I don't know, ranger trainer, or so on, I don't know. So ability trainer. And then for the abilities itself, we want to display it in something, so we're going to add wrap box. I can drag it, there we go, add it to the overlay. And then on this wrap box itself, we want to change some settings. So we're going to do horizontal alignment and vertical to the center. For inner slot padding, we will need padding only on the Y slot, because when they're next to each other it will be fine, but I tested it and when you put abilities in a second row they will be overlapping. So we'll do 100 on Y. And then we also want to do explicit wrap size. So this is how far it will go, how many icons we can fit before we can go to the second row. So wrap size, if we do something like 600 with the settings I'm going to create, we should fit around 4 abilities, I think, and then it will go to the next. Now also here do horizontal alignment to the center, and that's pretty much all we need. And now we just want to create the ability buttons itself that we will add to this box. So before we actually go, I'm going to rename this to ability wrap box and make sure it's a variable. This text doesn't need to be variable, or these backgrounds. Compile and save. So let's create the ability button. We already have ability button that we are using for displaying the abilities in the inventory. We can reuse this because it has already the ability settings to set text and image and stuff like that. So we can just duplicate this one. And I'll delete this and I'll call it ability button trainer underscore widget. Okay, we could use the same one, but then I want to style it completely different. We need to add the gold cost level requirement, then different on click events, and it will be just pain in the ass if you're doing the switches in one button. So it's easier to do second one. Open it up, And here I want to add this ability image to the button itself. Add it as a child to the button. We could create image directly inside the button, but the way I'm going to style it, it's easier if you actually do image as a child. So for the image itself, image size, I'm going to leave at 70 and 70, and nothing else we need to change here. Then go to ability button. This one we need to style a little bit differently. So we're going to go to normal style, and here tint we're going to remove because we don't want to have any tint on this button. And then what I want to do is I want to display these abilities as round circles. So to do that, we're going to do half height radius, which will make a perfect circle. And for the outline, it doesn't really matter. Here, make sure it's a rounded box. And then we're going to copy this style, and we're going to add it to hovered. So next to hovered, right click and paste. And then next to pressed, also right click and paste. Alright, so this will give us the rounded box. And for the tint on hovered, we will do white. So this means that if we have an image inside, that will be rounded, and then a button on the outside, then when we hover over it, it will just flick to the white, so we will have an outline on the image. And that's what we want. And for that outline to actually show, we need to go to ability image. And here we need to set padding at least 2. So this will be basically how much we can see of the button. So I only want to see 2 pixels. But we also need to make this round. So we're going to draw it as rounded box. And again, we're going to do half height radius here. So it is perfect circle. So compile and save. It's hard to actually kind of explain it without seeing it properly. So we'll just see it in a minute when we add it. So now we do have rounded image and rounded ability. We got hovered, pressed, we can leave as it is, gray, so we can actually see that we pressed it, and everything else should be fine. Normal padding actually, and pressed padding, remove it, change it to 0. Compile and save. And now we want to add 2 text, one that will be the gold cost and one that will be the level. So search for text, add it to overlay. This one we will center it, and vertical alignment we will leave at top. We're going to do top minus 10 pixels on the padding. Maybe minus 20. Again, it's not displaying correctly here, but it probably will. So I think minus 20 will be fine. And then we're going to duplicate this text, or actually I'm going to first change the font. So appearance, font, and font size will be only like 20, so it's not too big. And then you can style the text. I'll leave it as it is for now. And then Control and D. And this second text I'm going to do on the bottom align vertically. And we will do, instead of top, that will be 0. We will do bottom minus 20. Because it's aligned to the bottom, so it will pop out. So this will be basically above the widget, and this will be below the widget. So this first text, it will be level requirement. So level rec text. Make sure it's a variable, and the second one will be gold text. And for gold also I want to maybe have an icon there so we know what the value is, because then it's only going to show the actual value. So I'm going to right click, I'm going to wrap it with horizontal box, and then we're going to add one more image to this horizontal box. Then for this image, select it and just press this left button. That will flip it to the front, and here I'm going to add gold icon that I have. Excuse me quickly while I check somewhere else what the color I have, so I have it consistent, and then paste it. And we need to change this to something like 20, maybe 30. I think 20 and 20, and then text block, select it again, and padding on the left will be like 4. So it's not directly next to it. Cool. So this is how we style it. And then we will go to graph, and we don't want to have this onClicked event ability. We'll do a different event, so we'll delete this, just keep this one. And here when we set it, we do have already set ability button, which is what we want, but we also want to set gold text, so how much gold it costs, and also want to set what level we require. So for that, let's go start with probably the ability image we have here, that's fine. And then we're going to search for gold text, get it, and set text. We already have ability info here, so it's very easy. We're just going to do gold cost. And then we also want to change the color if we don't have enough gold. So we have to check what gold player has. And if it doesn't have enough, we will change the color to different ones. So we'll do set color and opacity. We're going to make slate color. And then from the specify color, we can select. And now we need to check player gold, but we have a player reference here. Even though this is not preferable, I wished I originally made the inventory component, because then we could access it without doing the player reference. But since we already have it, it's quite easy, so it doesn't matter. We will just get player reference and we will get gold. And, oops. And if this player gold is greater or equal the gold cost, we'll connect it to here. So if it's true, then that means we have enough gold, so it can just be white text. If it's false, it will be red text. And that's for the gold cost. Then for level requirements, we're going to get it, set text. I can't hit anything today. Set text. It's tooltip. So once again, set text. And then for the text, here we will have to append, because we need to say level as well. So again, we know what the value is. It doesn't let me append. Let's do format this time. So format text. And we want to connect text. So in the curly brackets, just type in text and close the curly bracket, click on it. It will create a variable, and the text will be the level requirement, and then space and do LVL for level. So that will be like 15 level. Compile and save. And then again, we want to do it in the red if we don't actually have high enough levels. So let's copy this part, paste it, and just connect to target this level requirement. And then here we're going to, from player reference, we're going to get stats component, and then get what do we need? Current stat, because that's a current level we're looking for. So get current stat and search for player level. And if player level is again greater or equals the level requirement from here, and we'll connect it. So pick A. We have the level, so it will be white. We don't have the level, it will be red. And then one more thing we want to do is we want to check if the ability itself is not already learned. So from the player reference this time, again, copy it, and we're going to get ability component. And in ability component, we have learned abilities. So search for learned abilities, get it. And we're going to find this ability here. And if we have found it, that means it already exists. So we don't want to display it. So get ability button. We're going to set, I think it's enable. Yeah, set is enabled. and we'll click it. But instead of connecting this directly here, just do not boolean. And that is just because if we have found it, we have learned it. So we don't want to disable this. Sorry, we want to disable this button. But if it's not learned, we want to leave it enabled so we can click on it. Right, that's compile and save. That's the whole setup that we actually need here. And we will do on-click event later. I just want to actually display it now. So compile and save. And let's go to, not crafting, sorry, I'll close this crafting. Go to ability trainer. Go to graph. And let's just do custom event. Right click, custom event. And this one will be build abilities. So build abilities, same as when we have build inventory. We'll delete this one and this one on construct. Don't forget to call it, so it will actually run. And for build abilities, we're going to get ability wrap box, clear children, just in case, even though it shouldn't happen that we refresh this or anything, so it wouldn't be multiple of the same abilities, but always clear it. And then we need to know which abilities this trainer actually has. So for that, we will create new variable, which will be abilities to learn or something. So abilities to learn. This will be type abilities. And we need to make this array. And then we'll get it. We'll do for each loop. We'll set it later inside the actual NPC. So connect it, and then we need to create widget. Open this macro. So back here, create widget. And the widget will be the ability button trainer. For ability, we'll connect this one here. And then for return value, we need to add it to the wrap box. So ability wrap box, get it, and add child. Alright, compile and save. Now, to set these abilities to learn, what we need to do? We need to do it first in the NPC. So let's go to blueprints, NPCs, and we do have this trader. That is the only one with dialog options. So open it up, and here, let's probably create it here as well. So as a variable, we will add, and we will do abilities to learn. We maybe don't need it in the actual trainer widget. Maybe we can get it from here. So abilities to learn, do the same thing, which will be abilities, enumerator, and array. And we want to make it instance editable, so we can edit it in the level. Then we will go to event graph. I need to check how we're actually displaying the NPC widget. So NPC widget is here, open NPC widget. It's based on the enumerator for dialog options. So we need to create new one. So blueprints, enumerators, and go to dialog options. And here we're going to create new one, which will be learn abilities. Save it. And now if we go back to trader, we should have a new one here. So select, and this one will be ability trainer widget that we're creating. Ability trainer widget. And I can see here that we do have a interface reference BPI when we set the trader reference, so we can communicate back to it. So we need to, let's compile this. Let's go to ability trainer. Here in class settings, we need to add the interface. So in implemented interfaces, we're going to do interact BPI. And then now we should have interface functions, which is set trader reference. So double click on it. And here we're going to promote this to variable. And this one will be trader ref. So this will be created in the beginning of the game. So now actually we don't need these abilities to learn here. Don't delete, don't delete it, leave it as it is. We're going to set it in the beginning. Before we build abilities, we're going to get the trader reference. and get abilities to learn, and then we can set them to these ones here. Or as I said, you don't really need it, you can just replace this with this one. I'll just set it. So compile and save. And then one more thing, so we can close the widget, we need to actually add onKeyDown event. So I'm going to copy it from somewhere else. If you go to, well, we should have it in crafting. Even though my crafting is different from Patreon, you should have this event onKeyDown. I'm pretty sure we have added it to all of the widgets, so we can close them. So copy this second part. If you don't have it, just look what it is, and then we will just create the same one. Copy it, and then let's go to abilities trainer, override onKeyDown, and here paste it first, and then delete this return node, and then add it here, and this one will be in key event. Compile and save. So this will let us close it when we press E. And okay, so we got abilities to learn, trader, we're creating the trader widget. And that should be all of it. So that's when the dialog happens. Ah, right, okay, so we need to call this OpenNPC. So when we interact, that should be there. Yeah, event interact, dialog box, and dialog box, and we need to create dialog option in the dialog button. Okay, so here search for dialog button, this widget. So this is each dialog button, which will say actually what we want to do: trade, craft, enchant. Now we got new one, learn abilities. I think I didn't put a space here, so it will display like this because it's enum to string. So put a space here, and then here we'll just, what we want to do, we want to do the same thing, open NPC widget and remove from parent and so on. So connect it there, sorry, compile. And now if I add trader to game and go to look for dialog options, here I'm going to add trade, for example, and then learn abilities. So now when we play the game, talk to him, I can press learn abilities, and we do have this ability trainer, except for it didn't generate any abilities because we didn't actually put any in the options. So now close it, and I'm going to search for abilities to learn, and then for abilities to learn, this array here. And for each trainer, we can set different types of abilities you want to have. So in this one, I'm just going to add this first: whirlwind, smoke charge, infuse fire, rapid fire, evade, 2, 4, 6. I'll add some odd numbers so we can see how it displays. Alright, I won't add all of them. And now if you learn abilities, there we go, we do have abilities like this. Except for I see that they are very close together anyway, because I thought they're going to, because of the wrap size, they should go under each other. But maybe I've just done the different settings. So let's go back to abilities trainer, designer, and here in this ability wrap box, I'll do inner slope padding like 20. Try again. Okay, that's better. That's going to the second one now. And then this explicit wrap size, I'm going to change to only like 400. There we go, so it's going to the second one. And then, okay, it's a little bit different than when I was testing it, so it has different settings. So this one we need to move a little bit up, and this one we need to move a little bit down. Or we can make the icons itself bigger. So if we go to abilities button, trainer, and here we can do ability button. Alright, it's because probably I forgot to add padding here. So here set it to like 30, this will be half size basically of the button, so it should be like 60 size on the button. So this will give some spaces to everything else. If you do learn abilities, there we go, this is better. Okay, so we can see now it's spread out a little bit more because button has the 30 padding. So maybe it doesn't need to have 30, maybe 20 would be fine. Learn abilities, and now they're too far apart, so what I want to do is in this wrap box again, I'm going to change this size here to only like 10 or 0 because we don't need to have it here. There we go, that's a little bit better. And now it just depends how many abilities you want to display in the row, but I'm kind of happy with this. Maybe I'll change it to 500, so there will be 4 abilities. Let's see if we fit them. Yeah, 4 abilities and 3. So this looks a little bit better. Now it will be always in the middle. And as you can see, the abilities are being set correctly, but at the moment in the abilities, everything is level requirement 0, which we have, so it's just displaying in a white color, and everything is also 0 price. So if we change some ability in the abilities, so third person, blueprints, tracks and DTs, and abilities data table, and I'll change this stone form, for example, to level requirement 10 and gold cost 500, just so we see how it displays. And then the second one will be level 1 and 50. Then if we go to learn abilities, there we go, this is now red because we can't actually learn it, and you can see the gold cost is displaying correctly. All of them are grayed out because we can't click on it, and that's just because at the moment all of the abilities we have learned in the player already, so that's why the grayed out button is disabled. So to change that, let's go to player, and inside the player we do have event graph, begin play, and we're learning all of the abilities. So I'm just going to disconnect it and then play the game again. And now learn abilities, there we go. We actually have buttons that we can learn, but as you can see, when I hover over it, I don't think I've done the correct outline settings because it's giving me a regular square image. So just quickly, let's check that as well. Let's go to ability button and round box. Okay, because it's rounding here is fixed radius, so this will be half height on pressed, and also on here on hovered will be half height radius. Compile and save. Okay, one more test. Learn abilities. There we go, now it's just the outline, which one I'm selecting. Okay, I can't learn them now, so when we click on them, we also want to learn these abilities. That's pretty much the easy part, because we just need to go to ability button trainer, and here, again, we want to check if we have enough gold to learn it, so we will do one branch, and we will check if from player reference, again, get gold is greater or equals from the abilities info. We break it open and we check if it's greater or equal gold cost, and do end boolean. Second one, we need to check the requirements, so I think you can search for get current stats directly. Get current stats, yeah, from stats component, and this will be player level, and if this is greater or equals the level requirements, connect it here and to branch. So if you do have all of these, so if you have gold, then we're going to learn ability. So for that we need to get ability component from player, and there we have a function which is learn ability, and learn ability will be this one. And then we also want to reduce the gold cost of the player. So if we go, we do have get gold, so we're going to do minus subtract the gold cost. I know I have noodles all over the place, but I don't want to organize it, otherwise it's too long of a video again. So get it, and then from the player reference, set gold cost to the new one. right? And one more thing we want to do, I want to create some notify that will tell us that we have learned new abilities. So from the player, we do a function which is create notify. Is that one? Create notify. Yeah, not the no spam one because we're not going to be able to spam it. Only the create notify. And here, for item name, we can use the ability name. So we will do ability enum to string. Actually, no, don't do ability enum to string. Do this one name from the ability info, because this one actually has the correct name. And we need to create new notify type. So again, let's go to enumerators, search for notify type, and add new one, which will be learn ability. Save it. Now, if we go to, where is it? In the notify widget. So in the widget, search for notifies. Notify box, is it this one? No, it's actual notify widget. And here go to graph. Here we just need to set it on switch. So copy one of these texts, learn ability. Again, we need to do append or format text or whatever. So I'll do this append because we have it there. And the text will be learned new ability. I'll do capital A ability. And the ability will be item name because that's where we passed it. So learn new ability and the ability name. And then don't forget to connect this one to slide notify, otherwise it won't slide in. So that's notify. And okay, let me just show you what happens. So learn abilities, I click on this one here, and I have, wait, let's say looted rapid fire. I need to switch the notify type. So looted rapid fire, and technically I learned it, but it doesn't disable the button because the other buttons don't know that I have actually learned it, or the same button doesn't know that I have learned it. So we need to tell all the other buttons that the gold cost might have updated because we have learned one of them, and also that we learned that ability. So for that, in the abilities component, yeah, let's go open it from the player, right click, edit ability component, and here I'm going to create new event dispatcher, and this one will be on ability learned. So just that, and then go to learn ability, double click. So this is the function that we execute, and we were going to drag it in and do call. So we'll call event dispatcher that we have learned new ability, and then in the ability button trainer, this one here, we can bind it. So from the player, we will, before this, get ability component, and from that bind event on, and we're looking for on ability learned. I think you might need to compile it, and then create event from the event, create matching event, and this one will be ability learned. And what it's going to do is we're just going to call this set ability button again, so it checks all the gold requirement, if the ability is learned, and so on, and it will refresh basically. So set ability button. Set ability button? Yeah, set ability button. Okay, so this will refresh it also. But I don't want to keep this binding on when the widget is destroyed, because it will still kind of keep running if you learn abilities from different sources, which we shouldn't, but you don't want to have event. So I'm going to show you how to unbind event as well. So we will search on widget destroyed, oh sorry, on destroy. Destroy, distract. Yeah, event distract. So event distract. So we have event construct when the widget is built, and event destruct, that's when it's destructed. And we're just going to do, we need to get ability component again, so get player reference, get ability component, and from there we're going to unbind. Don't do all, let's just do unbind event on ability learned, and then this event will connect to this one here, so it will unbind it, so it won't run if the widget is destroyed. Okay, and that's pretty much it. Here I wanted to change it to learn ability, and now it should actually all work. Let's see. So now I go to this trainer, learn abilities, and then here we do have level 1, this one for example. I click on it, there we go, learn new abilities, and now it's disabled. I can't click on it again, nothing happens. Okay, and you can see it's grayed out. This one I will learn, this one I will learn, this one I will learn, this one I will learn. This one I can't learn because I don't have enough level. So we can also do one more thing, and that is, sorry, inside the button, that on false, when we don't have enough gold or level, we're going to play sound that I'm adding everywhere, so that will be the error sound for object pickup. So that's my error sound. Cool, and that's pretty much it. One last thing I would probably do is inside the ability trainer here to display gold in the corner, but I'll let you figure it out. I feel like this video is way too long already, but I think it's pretty much all set up. So now you can learn the abilities, you can change the level, you can set up the custom trainers that will have only certain abilities and stuff like that. If you want, you can add some different text here or something. I think this is enough. I don't know what else to display here. So yeah, I'll see you in the next video, and I think I'm going to wrap up abilities and spells already because I spent quite a long time on it, and then spells I've created are all very different, so you can create multiple spells from that already. There is some targeted one, there is some AoE spells, so I just don't want to go around and just keep creating random effects and stuff, because to be honest, it's very boring for me as well to just spend time on a Niagara and stuff. So you can do it yourself now, and in the next section we're going to start with the enemy AI and set up some proper ones with like ranged enemies, bosses, different phases, and so on. So I'll see you then. Bye.